American President Joe Biden's much-touted West Asia tour has now finally concluded. However, the question, of course, is, has the tour that grabbed global headlines throughout the last week made any significant impact in terms of strengthening America's power projection in the region's geopolitics? And what has Joe Biden gained from this high-stakes visit to the State of Israel and also to the other Arab nations in the region? Now, this, remember, was the very first visit of Joe Biden to West Asia since having assumed office last January. And as anticipated, much of the focus of this trip was about strengthening diplomatic ties with several of American Gulf allies. From Jordan's King Abdullah to the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the American President Joe Biden paid a visit to a number of West Asian leaders as a part of his 4-day tour. Now, the meeting with the Saudi Crown Prince in particular was the highlight of this visit. This because the meeting follows the Biden administration's release late last year of an intelligence report that directly accuses MBS of killing the Saudi dissident journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Now, the Saudi Crown Prince, however, has time and again denied his involvement in the act. The administration has also sanctioned a number of Saudis in connection with the alleged killing, but stopped short of imposing any economic penalties on MBS. The Biden has also pledged during his presidential debate to make the kingdom into a pariah state following Jamal Khashoggi's murder, but instead, this was Biden sitting face to face with Mohammed bin Salman there, trying to negotiate and improve the American ties with the Saudi kingdom. The signs are pretty clear. The United States, in the aftermath of Russia's invasion into Ukraine, is seeking closer ties with the Saudi kingdom. And this is also being done by the Americans to try and bring down the price of oil that's been bubbling at over $100 per barrel. The American president is now also seeking an increase in oil production from Saudi Arabia to tackle the gas prices back home. But will the Saudis oblige? This, of course, is a big question. Now, another issue that also was up for discussion was the Iranian nuclear deal of 2015 that's been criticized very frequently by the Saudis. Biden's meeting with MBS has received its share of disapproval as well, with critics slamming him for ignoring his human rights policies. Biden, however, has said that his focus was on Jamal Khashoggi's murder during the meet and that he even confronted the Saudi Crown Prince over this issue. Now, on the final day of the summit, Biden attended a summit with Arab leaders in Saudi Arabian city of Jeddah, where he told the leaders that the United States will not walk away from West Asia and will help the region in every way possible. The Biden participated in the GCC summit with the leaders of its members Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, along with Egypt, Jordan and Iraq. The Biden also laid out his vision for his engagement in West Asia, promising to remain an engaged partner so that China or Russia cannot exert their influence in the region's geopolitics.
We will not walk away and leave a vacuum to be filled by China, Russia, or Iran. We'll seek to build on this moment with active, principled American leadership.
The Saudi Crown Prince, meanwhile, has reportedly warned that unrealistic policies to curb emissions could also fuel inflation. Last year, Saudi Arabia had pledged ahead of the COP26 climate summit to achieve net zero carbon emissions by the year 2060. On the diplomatic ties front between Israel and Saudi Arabia, it seems that Biden's high-stake visit has done little to help in terms of easing the sovereign tensions between the two nations. This as Saudi Arabia on Saturday said that the decision to lift restrictions on all air carriers using its airspace was not related to the normalization of ties with the State of Israel. This amid speculation that Saudi Arabia took the decision to mend future ties with the State of Israel.
The issue of overflights is a decision we took based on our commitments under the Chicago Protocols and also in the interest of providing connectivity between countries in the world. And we hope that it will make some travelers' lives easier. It's not in any way a precursor to any further steps.
Meanwhile, US President Joe Biden on Friday pledged about $100 million to support hospitals in East Jerusalem as part of a multi-year commitment aimed at helping the Palestinian health services. Now, this is a reversal of Donald Trump's 2018 policy, which saw the United States slash $25 million to the hospitals in Palestinian territories as a larger part of the suspension of aid to Palestinians. Along with a push for greater West Asian ties, Biden's latest tour also aims and also kick-started the first summit of the I2U2 grouping. Besides the United States President, the virtual summit was attended by the Indian Prime Minister, the Israeli Prime Minister and also the Emirati President. The grouping that has been dubbed as the West Asia Quad intends to increase joint investments in 6 key areas such as water, energy, transport, space, health and food security. It also seeks to mobilize private sector capital to help modernize infrastructure, improve public health and promote development of emerging green technologies. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.